Yahweh, Bashim, Yahusha, Bashim, Kakadash.
Saturday, pockets on the ground floor of America. Also feed the Lord's sheep. Because basically that's our duty, man. That's what the scriptures say, that the wisdom flies out in the street. So we're out here in the streets to give out this wisdom.
This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets.
Right, so that's what's going on. It's wisdom of what though? Not of the world, of the Lord. You know, giving instruction on what are people supposed to do now, how we're supposed to be living. You know what I'm saying? That's the wisdom that's out in the streets, man. Throughout the whole things of the earth, you've got different kids, different brothers coming out, they have videos, you know, but ultimately just to push that vibration of the Lord, man.
It says Isaiah 33 and 6, it says, "In wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure."
Right, because, you know, 2/3 of our people, or Jake and Jill, they're going to just be like, why do I need to hear that? You know what I mean? I went to church before. You know, they're going to basically turn their faces at this wisdom. But like the brother just read,
This is Isaiah 33 and 6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times."
right, so that's going to be the stability of our times. What times? The times that we're fast approaching into. You know, that we're already into, in the infancy stages. You know what I mean? Which is what? Going into the different secrets that the Lord got in store for this place.
Amos chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the Lord's power will do nothing, but he revealeth the secret unto his servants, the prophets.
Right, and the Lord's going to be in that stead, and we're coming out to teach the people and tell them what's going to happen, the Lord's secrets. Some of those secrets include what? Jacob's trouble that's about to happen, that RFID chip, MOTD, you know what I'm saying? That's being ushered in through the digital currency. You know, ultimately this place getting hit with thermonuclear fire. You know, all of these things that are going to come down from this place, the dollar crash. You know, but we're trying to tell our people, we're trying to warn them, you know, but the average dick can't see it because they're blinded basically, man. Or they got their mind set on other things. You know?
This is Psalms 25 and 14. "The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will shew them his covenant."
Right, so like, just like you read in the other scripture about the fear of the Lord is a treasure. So only those that fear the Lord are going to either be able to receive this wisdom, or the Lord is going to reveal those secrets to them. Only those that fear him, ultimately, man. And only those people that fear him are going to be saved in those days, and in those times of truth. Yeah.
This is Jeremiah 30 and 7. "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it."
Right, that's what we do. That's what we're coming into, man. And that's what we're trying to warn our people about, man. Jacob's trouble, man, which is going to be not a time like no other, man. So when you think about all the tribulations that happened with Jake, you know, or Israel, which is Black Latins and Native Americans, this is going to trump it, you know. So we trying to warn our people. Listen, we're coming into some dangerous times right now, and now is the time to be getting your head on straight and not be getting caught up in folly. You know, because in the world it says the scripture says that folly is set in great dignity. So you're going to see a lot of foolishness. You're going to see a lot of distractions. But like the scripture say also, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. So we understand that that's what he's going to use. He's going to use the flesh. He's going to use carnal things to keep you locked in. You know, whether it be your money, whether it be women, whether it be entertainment, you know, bread and circus, things of that nature, to keep you off what's really going on. You know, laws being passed, your rights being taken away. You know, all of these things that's happening.
Isaiah 39, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the Lord, Isaiah 39, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the Lord.
Right, and that's all people, man. that's Israel. You know, Black Latinos and Native Americans. You know, because the Lord said you're a stiff neck, man. You're hard headed. Jacob want to hear you, and even well, ultimately 2/3 of our people, because if you're of the elect, you know, the Lord is going to basically lift those blinders up, and you're going to be able to receive it. But our people, they don't want to hear this, man. They want to hear about. They don't want to hear nothing about anything with having to change who they are. You know, you tell your woman to get in line, she don't want to hear it. You tell Jake that's out there trapping or doing whatever you're doing the wickedness, they don't want to stop it. You know, they basically engulf in his flesh. You know, because the flesh is wicked. So our people, they don't want to hear nothing. They're not going to hear it. You know, and that's what, at the end of the day, all we're doing, and our job is to get the blood off our hands. We tell them what it is. You know, if the Lord give you a certain spirit where you're dealing with a brother again and again and again, and so be it. But ultimately, you tell them once. If they don't get it, we're not trying to convince anybody. You know, the scripture say, like, you know, paraphrasing it, that who this is for is going to be for, man. And who it's not, it's not. So if you're a 2/3, then ultimately you're never going to get it. Or you're never going to be able to fully receive it, you know what I'm saying, and get right. You may hear it, you may get a little understanding, but then you'll eventually turn back into the problem. It says, on the Lord, that's like
It says, Isaiah 39, this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the Lord, the Lord.
Yeah, so we're rebellious, man. We're rebellious against the Lord, man. We don't want to come back as a whole. I mean, when I say we, I'm talking about us, but just our people in general. They don't want to turn back, man. They like things the way they are, man. You know, like the scripture said, they've been stripping, and it's like they're not stripping. You know, Esau has beat them drunk. They enjoying this, man. Our women, you know, we tell them about, you know, in that homosexuality shit, you know, they pushing that, they behind it. I'm thinking about that because I was watching a video where the brothers were basically coming at the women for change the faggot or whatever. And ultimately, they not even hearing. They get an attitude and she's gonna come across the streets and she could take a man one-on-one, you know?
Well, there was
Right. Yeah, because now, you know, that's what they're trying to like, that's blatant disrespect to the Lord. You know, because understanding that those were the prophets, basically not even hearing. You just automatically get emotions, and that's how people as a whole.
You say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not to us. Prophesy not to us right things, speak unto us smooth things,
Right.
prophesy the secret.
Right, yeah, so that's what they want. They don't want the seers and the prophets, you know, before it was a prophet, it was a seer. So they don't want to hear us telling them what to do to get right. The right things are the ways of the Lord, you know, the ways of the scriptures. They don't want to hear that. They say to prophesy the secret, prophesy smooth things. Listen, some of those smooth things from the Lord, you know, he's merciful, everybody's going to be saved. You know what I'm saying? You could be homosexual or sodomite, and you can still be saved. You could, you know what I'm saying, if you don't change your ways, you know, the Lord's going to take you as you are, come as you are. Nah, you got to understand that, like the previous scripture, we're rebellious, meaning we're going against. So you got to come back to the ways of the Lord, man. You can't be just the same old man. Like the scripture said, put away the old man. The old man is the wicked ways, the wicked shit that we were doing. And now when you know better, you do better. You know what I'm saying?
Says, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. So it says, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Yeah, because that's the mindset of security. They want the true prophets to go out of the way. They'd rather flock to the churches, to all these false establishments, and to listen to the true prophets that are out there, how it's about teaching end time. They'd rather hear the prosperity doctrine, how they're going to flourish in the world, than wanting to hear how the Lord's going to come back and destroy the world. You know, so that's the monster that I believe. Get us out of the way, because the Holy One of Israel is ceased. We don't want to hear the true names of Allah, Shah, we want to leave on that right peace and love of all nations. That's what they believe. Alright, so it says, wherefore, thus saith the Lord, wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in the crushing, which mercies, Yeah, that's how people describe the word of the Lord and trust in the oppression, which is the society, which is oppressing you. You say, but what? Yeah, they're oppressing you at every stage. Listen, they already got you. We still got you in mental captivity, and we still physically have you in captivity. Okay, that's why we mandate Jews. What? You can't fight against. You gotta take it. And I won't take it, bro. No. You're not right with the Lord anyway, so the Lord's not going to do it. So he's oppressing, but here it is. The so-called white man shows you that, look, you're still in slavery, you're still out there slavery. But you jakes don't want to get the word of the Lord, and how you going to get about it? You want to be in that position. The white man ruling over you, forever. So they trust in the oppression, the person, society of Babylon. Okay? It's confusing. It's not but perversion is God.
He saw the biggest pervert.
Yeah, he saw the biggest pervert. But they love the society, this perverse society. Okay? It says, therefore this iniquity, 13, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out behind wall, is breaking from the suddenly. So that's going to be destructive. It's destructive in 2/3. Okay, so like when we have a breach in the wall, what? A breach in the wall is going to fall, break. So the Lord, that's what the Lord is going to do 2/3 of this one. Brother read Jeremiah 37, time to make it. So the Most High is judge, ultimately going to bring great judgment on the nation of Israel.
This is Micah chapter 2, verse 6. Prophesy ye not, say they to them that prophesy. They should not prophesy to them, and they should not be ashamed. Yeah, so they don't want us to prophesy. So they don't want us to be ashamed. When John says, light came into the world, man loved darkness rather than light, lest indeed should be in. So they don't want us to prophesy because they don't want to be ashamed of what they're doing. Because we're basically calling them out in their bullshit. You know? You being a homosexual, you worshiping God, Jesus Christ, you eat abominable food, you get lineups, all these different things. We're calling them out on it, and they don't want to hear it, because they don't want to be ashamed, So they don't want us to prophesy. So like the brother said, like the brother read, it says, get you out of the way. Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm still over here, I'm still on the corners. Because we're burdensome to the nation of Israel. It's like Yahushua when he came in the city, he was a burden to the scribes and Pharisees. And that's why they took him out eventually. Because he was calling them out and walking on their sins, on the bullshit they were doing, with their hypocrisy. So the same thing they said to us, don't prophesy. They don't want to take shade.
It irks 2/3 spirit, man. Like they turn the corner and see the prophesy. Yeah.
Yeah. When they see us and they cross the street, they get away from us, and then another camp is there. And fuck with their head.
That's right.
Proverbs 15:10. It says, correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way, and he that hateth the proof shall die. But you see, that's the thing. They don't want to take correction, man. And that's why, we said earlier that that's why they flock to the churches. That's why they flock to the smooth things, man, because they don't want to. They hate correction. They don't. It's like it's a fight. That hard-headedness, man. So it's like they don't want to hear that, man. They rather not. They rather not deal with it. They rather be told that, listen, I can keep doing what I'm doing. I can have it on this side, and I can be ready to go on that side. They're banking on being classified by the Lord's mercy, as opposed to getting right. They're basically taking the Lord's titles for weakness.
No.
This is Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate, For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many that be which go in thereat.
Right, yeah. So that broad, you know what I'm saying, where everybody can just go in, you know, that's what's going to lead to destruction. Because that's like an example of what our people are doing today. Whatever the fuck they want to do. You know what I'm saying? When it says straight, it's talking about that position of difficulty. You know, you got to be on eggshells in a sense. You got to walk that straight line, man. You know, that's going to lead you to righteousness, but the path where you can just do whatever you want, do as thy will. You know, you can be this, that, and the third. You know, all of those things are going to lead to your destruction, man. And that's what I say. What is that? I can read that.
It says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat.
Right, yeah, so as many are, because you know, there's more people that's going to be destroyed than are going to be receive salvation. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta know, like, I don't know if you ever seen that picture where you see that there's two paths. There's a crowd of people going this way, and then maybe be one or two people walking that way. You know, if you see something that majority of the people are doing, you might want to look at that and not do that. You know what I'm saying? Because the majority of the people are wicked.
Hey, but straight, is that going straight is the way?
Yeah.
That's what it is? Yeah, that's what it is, though. Like what you said was a perfect analogy, because they don't want to go our way, because our path looking kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You might fall, you fuck your ankle up. Their path is smooth, like the roads in Rome when they built the road. You know?
Right. Because our people don't want to work for nothing, you know? Ultimately, Esau gave them this microwave theory where they can just do whatever they want quick. I don't got to put no work in. You know, look at the women. Bitch don't want to go to the gym. She want to be body fat. It's fast and easy. I ain't got to do all of that. I'm saying, not knowing that shit can fuck you up. Like, you see women dying you see it dying on the day, on a certain day. Yeah, see? You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Or Jay's mother, or whatever the case may be. You know, so you gotta understand, and it's basically just the same way. Yeah, it may be fast, but you're going to ultimately die from that shit, man.
It says, because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
Right, so straight is the gate and narrow. So straight meaning that position because you're gonna do the scripture say what? If you prepare to walk with the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation. Just paraphrasing it. But you're gonna have afflictions, you're gonna have bumps. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be right, you're gonna be put through the fire, man. You know, if you come on that straight and that narrow road, but you gotta understand that's for life, man. That's gonna keep you correction. The Lord is gonna give you that correction, man, that you're gonna need to receive salvation, man. And He's not just gonna give you over to the flesh, man. Because 2/3 of our people are basically giving over to the flesh and their own desires, man. Their fleshly desires is basically gonna be their downfall.
Okay. All right, this second Edges, chapter 7, verse. I saw from 2. And he said unto me, up, Edges, and hear the word that I am come to tell thee. And I said, speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, the seed is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But, it says, but put the entrance were narrow and like a river.
Right, and this is speaking about, you know what I mean, that can't get into the kingdom, man, you know? So you gotta understand it's narrow. Again, it's gonna basically bring in the fact that this is not for everybody. This is gonna be challenging, right? It's challenging to the flesh. You know what I'm saying? Because the flesh wanna go off and do wicked, but the spirit and what it requires to get and receive the kingdom, you gotta be right, man.
So all right, let me read it again. It says, and I said, speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the entrance were narrow and like a river, whom it says who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it, if he went not through the narrow? How could he come into the broad?
Right, yeah, you know, and if you ain't going through that straight gate, if you're not going through the narrow, then it's no other entrance, there's no other way. You know, Jake like to go through the back door or take the elevator when you're supposed to be taking the stairs. Well, in this case, to receive the kingdom, you know, to receive salvation, you can't get there by no other way, man. You're going to have to go through this shit. whether the spirit has it to where you dealing with your afflictions daily, or whether the spirit have it to where if you're an Israelite, you get caught up in Jacob's trouble, or you know what I'm saying, you get caught up in with the missiles, man, and then you come back in your right state of mind. But ultimately, you're still gonna have to go through something, man. Ain't nobody avoiding that. You can't avoid that straight gate, man. You can't avoid the difficulties that it's gonna take.
So it says, it reads, where we at?
You got 6.
6. Okay, Salakia. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things.
Right, and that city is speaking about what? The kingdom. It's speaking about the kingdom. It's full of all good things, man. But how do you receive that? How do you get there? I'm about to tell you right now.
It says the entrance, therefore, is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there.
But yeah, so it's set in a dangerous place, man. Because the wolf that you gotta have, man, is dangerous on both sides, man. So you gotta basically be on your P's and Q's, like I said before. It's like you almost on eggshells. You know what I mean?
So it says, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water.
Right. So you basically get burnt on this side, you could drown on this side. You know what I mean? And that's just like the world, man. You can get caught up in so much different shit that can ultimately be your demise. So you tight roping. You on the tight walk. You're straight, man. It ain't too much leeway in this thing, man.
And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that could be one man go there at once.
Right, yeah, because ultimately every man gotta do what he gotta do to, you know what I mean? Every man gotta do what he gotta do. Another man can't basically can't get you salvation, you know what I'm saying? He can't punch your ticket. You gotta do the work. Every man got his responsibility, man. Every man gotta get right with the Lord. Every man gotta be looked at good in the Lord's eyes, man. The Lord gotta give you every man that mark of his exemption. Another man can't do it for you. So it's one at a time, because we all gotta go through our own afflictions, to get there.
So it says, if this city now were given into a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance?
Right, yeah, so how would you truly understand what the kingdom was worth if the Lord just gave it to us? We got to do work, no different than a rich kid. The thing that come with rich kids, right, was what? When they was given everything, they value nothing. So we got to value the kingdom, and the only way to value it is by seeing what wickedness does. To be living in wickedness, to see that this shit is not right. That's the only way you're truly going to value what the Lord got in store for us, man, that reward.
That's right.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to. You just be like, yeah, you would think this is just regular. Nah, the Lord's way is right, and the only way to know that is to see what happens when people don't go. You know what I'm saying? When people don't follow the ways of the Lord.
You got something?
Yeah. This is Romans. It's like, in fact, this is Galatians 6, now 17. 17, it says, yep. Galatians 6 and 17. It says, for the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law.
Yeah, so it's a constant battle between the flesh and the spirit. Okay? And we always have to what? Combat the flesh. By pretty much, that's why the scriptures say, walk in the spirit. Okay, so if we walk in the spirit, we'll be able to what? Overcome the flesh. Right. But it's a constant battle. A lot of times we're gonna, fall. We're gonna lose to the flesh because why? We're not perfect. Right. But it's always a fight. But we always have to fight to stay in the spirit, fight to walk in the spirit. All right, and don't give in into the flesh and lust. The scriptures speak about make not provision for the flesh, which provision is food, okay? Meaning don't do the things to feed the flesh, because just like actual food, what you eat, but eventually you're gonna get hungry again. And the flesh can never be satisfied. You might do something, eventually you're gonna want to do it again. So you gotta fight. You gotta fight against the flesh, not to do certain things, or not to do wicked things. You got it.
Real quick.
This is Acts chapter 14, verse 22. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High.
Right, and like you said, through much tribulation. This is not an easy thing. Tribulation, you're gonna get your lumps, man. You're gonna take your lumps in it. You're gonna be humbled. The scripture, before honor comes humility. So you have to be humble in order to really, because that's a part of that transformation, man, and changing. You got to be brought low, and then the Lord builds you back up the correct way. So every man that's in the truth, they all go through their own tribulations. All brothers, no matter the measure, been brought down, man. They all felt shit. They all felt, the pain, the tribulations, the daily afflictions. But that's what has to happen, because like it says, I think it's Ephesians, or it's Ezekiel, where it said, I get it for you.
I go?
It took about 1/3, 2/3. Exactly right. It's not years. It does in 8 years. You got those speaking. So yeah, so that's what. So real quick.
Acts chapter 14, verse 22. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we, through much tribulation, must enter into the kingdom of the Most High. Yeah, so much tribulation, man. The kingdom, the path to the kingdom is not going to be easy. Like the other brother read, 2nd and 7th chapter, it says, the path is narrow. It's going to be on the right hand, deep water and fire on the other side. It's like like you got these, what they call them, the adrenaline junkies. They be having strings between two buildings where they'll have a staff, where they balance themselves, walking in between, walking that tightrope. That's the same thing with us, man. We dealing with a tightrope, where you easily could fall out, man.
Right.
It's anything could veer us off the path, man. So there's many things that could have us fall on the fire or in the water, man. Which the fire and the water represents destruction, man. You could easily just fall out the way. You could easily fall into, your own lust. You could easily fall into another philosophy. Say, after all, we don't gotta go out no more. Or, the scripture says, you make up your own doctrine, man. So yeah, it's hard, man. It's a hard path. It's hard to stay on the right path, man. It's easier to be wicked than to be righteous, man. We've seen it, with apostles, other brothers, brothers on down, like, different men that you came into the truth with, and they fall off the path, man. Yahweh Shah spoke about, what is it, the different seeds, in the 13th chapter. A seed that's going to be planted on the wayside, a seed that's going to be scorched, and a seed that's going to be planted in good ground and bringing up good fruit, man. And we hoping to be the ones that's planted in good ground. Because the ones that fell off on the wayside is the ones that, find an excuse to leave the truth, man.
Right.
You got something, right?
Come on, you done?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Okay, I got something. This is 2nd Edges, chapter 2. I start from 41. It says, I Edges saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them were, in the midst of them, there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest.
Right, and that's going into the elect, and that tall man, that's speaking about Yahweh Shai.
That's right. And upon every one of their heads he set crowns.
Right.
And was more exalted, which I marvel at greatly.
Right. So this is the vision of Lord's will, not Lord, of the elect. You know, Lord's will. We were in that vision, but you know, the Yahweh Shah is basically crowning the elect, those that endure to the end, man.
Right.
Those that ultimately were basically, they got that mark of exemption, man. They didn't get caught up in this world, man, in the plethora of things that could have took them out, man. You know.
And he answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive palms.
Right. And when it's, you know, that it said what about the mortal clothing?
It says, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing.
Right, you know, the flesh, man. You know, they're not, those are the men that basically aren't living in the flesh, man. They're not in the world. They put off the world, they put off the flesh, and they went with the spirit, man. You know?
And put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now it says, now are they crowned and receive palms.
Right, and that also goes into the importance of the name of the Lord, man, because it ain't gonna be those that's confessing Jesus Christ, man.
Right.
It's not gonna be that, man.
Right.
You know, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, the name of the Father and the Son. You know, those that truly believe in it and have in sincerity, you know, those are gonna be the ones that are gonna receive that crown. The men, you know, those are gonna be the ones to receive the crown.
That's right. And if I could make a point too, because you know, because we're gonna be crowned, you know, as you know, kings and rulers in the next kingdom. But what we also, it said we shall receive crowns and palms, because that palm, like a palm branch, represents you getting a victory over something. Okay, so we're gonna get the victory over what the lust of the flesh, overcoming this world, all right, and fighting and enduring in the truth to get the victory, which is, you know, to finish to get the kingdom, all right. So we're gonna receive palms, okay, like a palm branch represents triumph, victory, you know, and peace, all right. Like in the ancient world, yeah, in the ancient world, you know, you got the going back in like the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire. The Greek athletes will win events. They were rewarded with palm branches or a crown of palms. Same thing with during the Roman Empire with the gladiators. The gladiators that'll win the matches. They receive palm branches. Okay, so that's why the scripture say we're gonna receive crowns and palms, because it's gonna represent which is symbolic for us getting the victory, okay? Getting the victory towards the end.
Right, and you know, also, you know, the victory over death, man.
Right.
Because once we get changed, once our bodies get changed, and those that endure to the end, we're not gonna be able to die no more. We're gonna be immortal, truly immortal, man. Mm-hmm. You know, real quick, 1 Corinthians 15 and 55. It says, "O death, where is thy sting?"
Yeah.
Romans 15.
No, Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 15 and 55.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 5.
55.
55?
Yeah.
This is 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 55. Oh, death.
Yeah, you can start off.
This is 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, verse... I'm going to start at verse 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed.
Right, so basically, we ain't all gonna die, but all are gonna be changed. We're gonna get out of this flesh, man, which Jude calls what? The chains of darkness. So we're gonna be out of this. The Lord is gonna take us out of that, man, and that's gonna be the beginning of our immortality.
Yeah, matter of fact, I'm going to start at 50. This is 1 Corinthians 15 and 50. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption.
Right, because we can't take these bodies into the kingdom, because these bodies are wicked, man, and there's no wickedness in the kingdom, man. So we gonna have to be changed. Something's gonna have to give.
It says, behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
Right, yeah, so we're going to be changed, man. You know, some men are going to be martyrs for the truth, but not every man is going to die. There's going to be some that live basically forever. You know, everybody's not going to see death. You know, but we all, through the Spirit, we're going to see the change, man. We're going to have those new bodies, man. Like Yahweh Shai, when he comes back, he's coming back in a different body. We're going to have a different body, man. Incorruptible, man.
That's why it says, son, what is it, arise, the dead shall rise?
It says, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
Yeah, so the dead gonna raise incorruptible, because you like the brother said, you're gonna have some men that's gonna be martyrs, some men that's gonna die in the faith, some men that's gonna die during the end times. But what? They're gonna be raised first. They're gonna be raised up first, incorruptible. Okay, because those gonna be the men that's gonna come back with Yahweh Shai and the angels. You got it.
It says, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality.
Right. We start going into the flesh again, man. We're gonna be immortal now, because ultimately we're not gonna sin anymore. So, you know, because wages of sin is death. So the fact that we're not gonna sin anymore means we're gonna be living forever.
It says, so when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory?
Because ultimately, just the thought of death, man, that is a sting, man. It's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could die. You know that? Yeah, that's bitter, right? So it's like, the fact is that we're not gonna have to worry about that anymore. That's gonna be a thing of the past. Like, you know, brothers speak about, like, when we have children and we telling them in the kingdom about death, they're gonna look at it, it's gonna sound far-fetched. Like, how? Because you gotta understand that with sin came death, man. So the fact that that's gonna be done away with, and we're not gonna be in this flesh, we're gonna be living forever, and then we're gonna have that victory over death.
It says, the sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But thanks be to Yahweh Shemel Shah, which giveth us the glory through our Lord Yahweh Shai. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord.
Right, yeah, so we got to continue to push, man, because we know what's coming, and we know that the Lord, we ain't laboring in vain, man. The Lord's going to look out for us, man. We're going to get the reward for this, man. You know, so we got to continue to push. You know about the afflictions that's going to happen, you know, but at the end of the day, it's a light compared to what we're going to receive, man. So you got to continue to push, pray, you know, ask the Lord for strength, and just don't give up, man. Yeah, men are going to get weak, but at the ultimate, you don't want to give up, man. You don't want to turn your back on the Lord.
All right. It's Revelation chapter 21, verse 4. It says, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
Yeah, that's right. It's not going to be any more sorrow, death, or pain, and decline in the kingdom of heaven, man. You know? And the reason, you know, why we suffer, the scriptures tell you we suffer because of our sins. And how did sin come about? Sin came about through Adam, you know, by the means of Eve, man. You know, during the time of Adam, before they sinned, you know, everything was perfect, man.
Yeah.
And the reason everything is cursed right now is because of Adam. The reason why you have, you know, death, diseases, you know, natural disasters, all these things happening is because the curse that the Most High put up on Adam, man. The Lord said, the ground is going to be cursed for your sake, you know, because Adam, he was supposed to be responsible, you know, for the planet, man. You know, and because he sinned, the Lord pretty much cursed all of creation, man. This is the reason why we die. This is why animals are suffering. This is why we have all these different disasters up on the earth, man. It's because of Adam. So it says, read that again, Baba Shah.
Okay, so this is Revelations 21:3. I got something for you. And I heard, Revelation 21:4. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
Yeah, the former things is going to be passed away, man. After this destruction, the America right now, you know, this is the former things. Just like during the flood, before the flood, that was the former things before the flood happened. Right. So right now we're living in the former things before the new flood, which is going to be in a way of fire, man. So the Lord is going to wipe all of it out and give us elect new bodies, as we read in 1 Corinthians the 15th chapter, man. Right. You know, it's not going to be any more death, because Yahweh Shah is coming to bring the new covenant. And the new covenant consists of the Israelites having new bodies that are not able to sin. And the reason why we die is because of sin, man. Right. Scripture says in Romans 6:23 that, how does it go? Wages of sin is death, man. You know, so the reason we die is because of our sin. But Yahweh Shai is going to give us new bodies, so therefore we're not going to be able to sin. Therefore we're going to be immortal.
All right. It is Second Edges 7, verse 48. It says, "Although Adam, what hast thou done? For though it was thou that sinned, thou art not fallen alone, but we all that come of thee."
Yeah, that's right. So Adam, even though he's the one that sinned because of Eve, all his descendants pretty much inherited that same curse. Get that in Romans, I think it says about one man came death, somebody the same man shall eternal life from, something to that effect. So it was Adam that sinned, you know, and it was because of his woman, because the serpent, which was a so-called white man back then, you know, God threw to his woman to get him to follow whatever philosophy was during that time. Which that main philosophy was always idols, man. Idols was always the problem Israel had, man. They followed idols, and the Most High always cursed them, man. This is why the scriptures tell you that idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, man. You know, so most likely that's probably what it was, man. The serpent, the so-called white man, got Eve to start worshiping another god, which these other gods come with their own philosophies, and she got into it, and then brought it to Adam, you know, and then he got into it, and then what? And then we all got the same curse that he got, man.
Right.
You know? That's what I'm saying?
No, that was.
Yeah, so it was Adam that sinned, so we all fell with Adam, man. And the brother's gonna read that.
Romans, right?
Yeah, go
This is Romans 5:12. It says, "Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned."
Yeah, that's right. So by one man came death and sin, man. You know, Adam. You know, and Adam, you know, is going into Yahweh Shah. Adam was Yahweh Shah in the reincarnation. So this is what it's going into. So that one man brought sin into the world, which is going into, you know, the whole planet Earth, but really going into the nation of Israel, you know, because the scriptures say that Adam, he only knew righteousness, you know. So we didn't know what sin was until we was introduced to it, you know, by the serpent deceiving Eve. So read that again, Baba Shah.
Yep, this is Romans chapter 5 and verse 12. It says, "Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned."
Yeah, so all have sinned, man. You know, we were born to sin. David says that, man. We all born into sin, man. You know? Hey, man, you know, you be a child or whatever, you don't know the laws, and even if you know the laws, you still go off, man. Right. You're still gonna lie as a child. It's certain things you're gonna do that, you know, as an Israelite, you know, you made subject unto, man. But really in the spirit, we're not supposed to do that. You know, but the law is basically going to how, you know, you basically accountable for your sins until you're 12 years old. But before then, you know, from the point you're born until you're 12 years old, you know, you're innocent to your sins, but it's still sin. It's still sin. So that makes you, you know, guilty to die, man. You know, because sin is death. Go ahead.
Go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, "For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no law."
Yeah, so if there wasn't no law, there wouldn't be no sin, man. You know, so sin is not imputed until there's no law. So this is why the Most High gave us laws, statutes, and commandments, man. You know, this is why he raised up Moses and gave us the laws, because he knew how we could be worked. Because when our people was in Egypt, they were sinning, man. You know, they was worshiping all these different gods of the Egyptians, man. So the Lord raised up Moses, you know, to save them out of Egypt and give them the laws, statutes, and commandments, man. You know? So, and the scriptures also say, where there's no law, there is no sin. You know, so sin is what? The transgression of the laws of the Most High and His Son.
It says, nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over them that had not sinned, after the similitude of Adam's transgression, who was the figure of him that was to come.
Yeah, Adam was the figure of him that was to come. You know, Adam was the Yahushua, man, and he was prophesied to come back and save his people. You know, the Adamites during that time, because although Adam was that one man, but Adam also represented a group of people, a nation of people, the Adamites. That's why when you read Genesis, it says what? That male and female, the Most High created them, and called their name Adam in the day that they were created. So Adam wasn't just one man, it was just a group of people, which back then was known as the sons of God, the Israelites. You know, and their women went to the serpent, because it wasn't just that one Adam that was made subject to it, it was all the Adamites. So it was the group of Edomites, the sons of the wicked, coming to the garden, you know, deceiving our women, and our women came back to us and made us fall. Just like Samson. You know, when we read Samson, it says this woman nagged him unto death. You know? So it was the same thing with the Adamites, man. You know? Their women kept getting in their ears at first. They're like, nah, you bugging the fuck out the Most High, you know? Right. And she's like, yo.
The main Adam. There's the Adamites. The Adamites is the main Adam.
Yeah, there's the main Adam. That's right.
This is a real quick back you up. Galatians 5:1. This is the book of the generation of Adam. In the day of the Most High, the day that the Most High created man. Oh, that's like of the Most High.
What's it, Genesis 5:1? Yeah, Genesis.
It says in the, I'll read it again. It's not the Most High. In the Hebrew, be Elohim, the powers. This is Genesis 5:1. This is the book of the generations of Adam, the generations. So it's more than one Adam.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
In the day that the powers created man in the likeness of the powers, made he him.
Yeah, in the likeness of the powers, man. You know, because we have the same characteristics as the Most High, His Son, and the angels, which is order. This is why the Most High said you're going to have dominion over the whole earth. And the Most High gave Adam the law, statutes, and commandments. Back then, the laws wasn't written, but it was an oral law. It was already implanted in Adam from the beginning, what he had to do. This is why it says he ain't no sin. This is why when we actually ate of that fruit, which is that philosophy, that way of life, you know, it says they realized they were naked. Because before they didn't know what sin was. Nakedness represents sin. So that's when they realized, oh shit, we fucked up. And they try to hide among the nations. But go ahead, now.
This is verse 2, Genesis 5:2. Male and female created he them and blessed them and called their name Adam.
See, it called their name Adam. So it wasn't just one. Because it wouldn't make sense for the Most High to just make Adam and Eve. Because where would Cain get his wife from?
Right.
You know? So it was multiple Adams. Just like there is multiple cattle. When you read Genesis, it said the Most High made everything in abundance. You know? He made the cattle in abundance, the fish, the birds, everything was made in abundance. So why is it when it comes to man now, the Catholic, the Christian church, just think that it was just one Adam and one Eve? So what would Seth and Cain get their wives from, man? How would they repopulate?
In the day, says, in the day when they were created.
In the day that they were created, there was multiple Adams. But you had a main Adam. Just like Yahushua is that main Israelite. Back then, Yahushua was that main Adam. He was the king of the Adamites. Just like he's the king of Israel now. You see? So in the day that they were created, man. So it was multiple Israelites. It was multiple Adamites, man. You got something?
Huh.
Go ahead.
This is 2nd Esdras chapter 4, verse, I'll start from 28. But as concerning the things whereof thou asked me, I will tell you, for the evil is sown, but destruction therefore is not yet come.
Yeah, so the evil was sown, like it says, the evil sown was sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. So, oh, it's going into it?
Yeah,
Okay.
It says, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good.
Yeah, that's right. Then cannot it come that is sown with good. And this is why, apostles and their elders, been going into, in order for us to receive the kingdom, in order for us to appreciate righteousness, we have to go through wickedness, man. So the Most High pretty much sowed that evil seed in the heart of the Adamites, so that way, they could go through the left hand, so that way when they get into the kingdom of heaven, they could appreciate that righteousness, man. And it's gonna make us better judges, man. Because the best judge is the one that has been through the same situation that you've been through. And in the kingdom, we're gonna be judges of the earth, judges over the heathens. So therefore, we have to go through it now as mortals, so that when we become immortal, we could judge the heathens accordingly.
Verse 30, for the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. And how much ungodliness have it brought up until this time?
Yeah, how much ungodliness has it brought forth to this time? And look how much ungodliness it brought forth during the time of the flood, man. The Lord, he got fed up, man. And during that time, it was hundreds of millions of people. Probably even billions, man. I said, man, I'm gonna destroy mankind, man. I'm gonna destroy everything, man. And that was during that time. And during that time, they didn't have as much evil that's going on now, man. During this time, you got all types of sodomites, transgenders. The shit that you see today is not normal, man. This is not, this is a new evil, man. Because during this time of Sodom and Gomorrah, there was so-called gays and lesbians and shit, but there wasn't no fucking transgenders, man. What the fuck?
Right.
It was pedophiles, but now it's like they're pushing it on everybody throughout the world, man. During that time, it was secluded through Sodom and Gomorrah. There was 5 cities that was in the area, man. But now they're pushing that whole evil upon the whole world, man. So look how much forth that evil from the time of Adam brought forth into this time.
It says, and how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing comes?
Yeah, so the Lord told us how much forth it's going to bring forth until the time of threshing. We're living in a time of threshing now, man. When the Most High, he got all these spirits on the earth, man. 8 billion people to bring forth judgment, man. This is not by coincidence. And now I said this video to the chat where this Edomite, he was going into how, going from like 6,000 years, 6,000 years, which is when, the oldest man's records was found, all the way till now, if you double the population for 156 years, it makes up to 7-8 billion people. It matches accordingly right to what the scriptures say, man. So look how much forth evil it brought forth, man. Sodomites everywhere, transgenders, murderers. Everything that is wicked is upheld in this society, man. This is not normal, man. This is a bizarre world. This is upside down. Go ahead.
Yeah, like if I could say, yeah, because wickedness of these times, the wickedness of these times is far greater than the wickedness back in the ancient world. That's why it's compared to, a seed. Like a seed, you sow it in the ground, and it's a process. It's a growing process. All right, it doesn't just turn into a full fruitful tree. It's a growing process, So that seed had been sown in the beginning since Adam, and wickedness over the process of thousands of years, that wickedness grew greater until the time of threshing. Because now that's why Yahweh Shai is the reaper. He's coming down to reap. All right, he's gonna cut down. Matter of fact, it's going to go into it, so I'll read it. I'll read it again. So it says, how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come? The time of threshing is when Yahweh Shah is going to come back, you know, because he's the reaper. So he's going to thresh down the heirs, man. The heirs of the evil grain.
That's right.
Okay? So he's going to thresh it down. So verse 31, meaning so the Yahweh Shai, he's going to cut down all his wickedness by bringing destruction when he returns. Mm-hmm. So verse 31 says, ponder now by thyself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed hath brought forth. And when the ears shall be cut down, which are without number, man, that's a great number of wickedness, man, which are without number. So the Lord is going to be doing a lot of killing, man, a lot of slaughtering when he comes back. Because so much wickedness, he has to destroy.
Yeah, that's right. This is not normal, man. You got queers, transgender. Hey, man, they said it's more than 100 different genders, man. This is not normal. During the time of the flood, even during the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, they knew it was man and woman, you know, but even though it was going off, they knew it was only two genders, man. Even though they was into the wickedness that they was doing. But now it's like, oh, this and that, you queer, you this, you that. Now pedophiles is called MAPS, minor attracted people, man. You know? If you want to identify an animal, everything is cool with that. Now they're telling different schools, you know, if a child was to identify as an animal, if they say I'm a cat, you're supposed to be okay with that. You ain't supposed to rebuke him or nothing, man. Just allow it, man. So look how much evil is bred throughout times, man. Yeah. So imagine if it were to go on for another 20, 50 years, man. Right. I fucking lose my mind, man. Right. You want to commit suicide, man. Living in this goddamn society, man.
I see some videos, some Ishika, married I think in Mexico, married a goddamn alligator.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, this shit is. So that, like, you literally can do that in this world, man. You can marry goddamn tree if you want. You can marry animals. So this place is far gone, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Far confusion in this world. So I'll read the last verse. So it says, verse 32, and when the ears shall be cut down, which are without number.
And the ears represents the people, man. You know, so it's a lot of people that's going to have to die in order for the New World Order to be established. When I say New World Order, I'm talking about Yahushua's kingdom, man. You know?
Right. So it says, which are without number, how great the floor shall they fill?
Yeah, how great a floor shall they fill, man. You know, just like during the ancient time, they had to cut down, with their sickle, cut down those corn or whatever. And then they put them in the storehouses, man. You know, it tells you that, you know, during the time of Joseph, they gathered the grain and put them in storehouses. So, you know, read that last part again.
So it says, the second edge, 432, it says, and when the ears shall be cut down, which are without number, how great a floor shall they fill?
Yeah, how great a floor shall they fill, man? Hey, man, when Yahushua returns, it's going to be billions of people that get decimated, man.
That's death.
You know, it's not going to be just, you know, oh, America just get destroyed. No, we're talking billions of people, man. This is the reason you got all these spirits on the earth today, man. You know? Billions of people are going to die, man. Just like during the time of the flood, it wasn't just no mere 100,000 died. It was a lot of people that dropped in, man. You know? Billions, man. So it's going to be the same thing. How much for a great floor shall they fill, man? You know? Get that? Revelation 14.
This is Revelation chapter 14 and verse 15. It says, and another angel came out of the temple crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud. Thrust in thy sickle and reap.
Yeah, thrust in thy sickle and reap. And that angel is going into the one that's on the cloud is talking about Yahushua. And that cloud represents the chariot, the so-called UFO that Yahushua is coming back up on, man. And we call it the fathership. So it says thrust in thy sickle and reap. A sickle is what? An instrument to cut down crops. And the crops represents the people. Get Isaiah 6:3.
It says, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap.
Yeah, the time has come for Yahushua to reap, man. You know? This is that generation, man. Yahushua said, this generation shall not pass until all these things be fulfilled, man. We living in that generation now. You know, America don't got no 10, 15, 20, 50 years, man. You out your goddamn mind if you think that's gonna happen, man. America living longer than, you know, the time that it has now. You know? The Lord, he allowed a Sodom and Gomorrah to go on for all these fucking decades and centuries, man. He put a judgment upon them, man. You know? So, go ahead.
It says, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe.
Yeah, the harvest of the earth is ripe, man. These people are ripe, man. They're ripe for judgment. And you just look at all around Babylon the Great, man. You can see, man, hey, man, this place deserves judgment. Look at all these fucking people, man. You know? Everybody identifies great, wherever you fucking turn, man. Especially out here in New York City, man. You know? Soon as you see somebody with blue hair, purple hair, you already know they're into some of that LGBT bullshit, man. You know? And you even got niggas that's on the down low. You know? They look like they tough, they look like they straight, but behind closed doors they popping other men. Look at this nigga Dwight Howard, he just got exposed. Well, I'm not gay or anything, I just like you're into freaky stuff. Nigga, if you popping another man, you a fucking, you know, Saudi, man. You know?
Right.
So that's normalized these days, man. And if you speak against it, you's a weirdo. Oh, you homophobic. That's what they say you are, man. You know? Got more?
Yeah, one more. It's verse 16. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped.
Yeah, the earth was reaped, man. See, Howard Shah's coming to reap the earth, man. This is why it's going into the grapes. Howard Shah's gonna have to tread upon.
It's Isaiah 63. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra?
Yeah, so who's this that coming from Edom with dyed garments from Basra, man? This is talking about our Lord Yahweh Shah, man, who the world didn't call Jesus Christ, man. And Basra, you know, represents Esau, Edom, the so-called white race. Just like Jerusalem represents Israel, you know, scriptures refer to Israel by their capital. The scriptures refer to different nations by their capital. So it says, who is this that coming from Edom? It's from white men with dyed garments from Basra. Because when Yahweh Shah returns, the first nation that's going to be on his hit list is the so-called white man. This is why when you read Psalm the, what is it, 83rd or 89th chapter? Which one is it?
83.
Yeah, 83. Going into the different nations that Heavenly Father has beef with. The top one is Edom. The tabernacles of Edom, Ishmaelites, it goes into it in order. So Edom is at Yahweh Shah's hit list, man.
Matter of fact, the Lord said, when the Lord commenced, he's coming from the east.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, if you look at Jerusalem, Basra is east to Jerusalem. All right, so that's what the first house Lord's going to make.
Yeah, that's right.
In other words, that's your ass, Esau.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Good.
I got precept. It's Genesis 49 and 11. So it says, binding his, I start from 10. It says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet.
Yeah, Judah is the tribe the kings come from. So the scepter shall not depart from them. You know, this is why Yahweh Shah came out of the tribe of Judah, and he's the king of the Israelites. Because the tribe of Judah is who the rulership comes from. So it says the scepter shall not depart from Judah, boy.
Nor a lawgiver from between his feet.
Yeah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet. This is why during the time of Yahweh Shah, you know, during the time of the Romans, the lawgivers, which was the Levites, there wasn't a land with the Judites. This is why the Levites didn't get cast away and leave to this part of the earth with the 10 tribes, man. You know, this is why collectively, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, they were known as the Jews by the Babylonians, which was a derogatory term, because they couldn't differentiate between the so-called Negroes, the so-called African Americans, the so-called West Indians, and the so-called Haitians, because we look the same. So it says the lawgiver shall not depart from between his feet.
It says, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
Yeah, Shiloh is Yahweh Shah, man. And then there's a beast. I believe Shiloh goes back to Shalom, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. I got to look at the chapter.
Yeah, shit. You know, if I'm not mistaken, man. So it says, until Shiloh come, and
It says, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
Yeah, so under Yahushua, with all the tribes gather under, man. This is the reason why you have, brothers from all tribes coming together under the banner of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. The so-called blacks, the so-called Latinos, and Native Americans coming together under the same banner, man. But you look at certain camps, they don't even accept Northern Kingdom, man. They say all the tribes are black. You don't have Shiloh in the midst of you, man. You don't have Yahushua, man. So unto him shall the gathering of the people be. So we gather unto Yahushua now through what? Through his word. Through the prophecies, man.
It reads, it says, binding his fowl unto the vine, and his ass's coat unto the choice vine. Yeah, and that's Yahushua when he came. Meaning he came to bring peace into Israel. Okay, because when Yahushua came, like the account when he came riding on a donkey into Israel, that represented Yahushua bringing his peace. Okay, unto the vine. So binding his fowl, which is that ass, into a vine. The vine represents Israel.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So it says,
he came in a humble state.
That's right.
Yahushua, when he came here, rode on a horse, like Bishop Nathaniel, man. He rode on a donkey, man. He was in a lowly state, man.
That's right. It says, he washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes.
Yeah, so the grapes and the wine represents the blood of the people that Yahushua is coming to decimate, man.
Right.
Because contrary to Christian belief, Yahushua, he's not coming to bring peace, man. He's not coming to bring, salvation to the whole world. Anybody that believes on Jesus Christ is going to be saved. No, man. He's coming to bring death. Yahushua is known as the angel of death. He's that same angel that brought the death upon the Egyptians, man. So how is he going to come to save everybody? That doesn't even make sense. How is he going to save everybody? How is it going to make sense for him to save everybody? What is he going to save them from? How's the people he's going to save going to appreciate the salvation, man? That's because he's coming to save the Israelites, the chosen amongst them. The scriptures tell you not all Israel is of Israel. So the ones that's going to get delivered is the elect of the nation of Israel. And they're going to get delivered from the coming wrath of the Heavenly Father, which consists of famine, multiple pandemics, what else? Unnatural disasters, strange apparitions, and ultimately World War III, the destruction, man.
Right. So verse 12, it says, his eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk.
Yeah, so his eyes shall be red with wine, man. Yahushua, he was, they called him a wine bibber, because he loved to drink a lot of wine. And John the Baptist, John the Revelator, he said that his eyes are red like a flame of fire, and his teeth white with milk represents his doctrine. He has a pure doctrine, man. When he was on the scene, the Pharisees, their doctrine was polluted, man. They had rotten teeth, so to speak, man. Telling Israel, as long as you, they was taking robberies, men would commit adultery, and they'll pay the scribes and Pharisees a portion, give an offering, it's you good now, and then let them get off scot-free, man.
That's right. That's right. And also too, because he's gonna be drunk with the blood of the grapes too, because he's coming back to bring a lot of judgment, And the milk also, is the doctrine, Yahushua comes with the doctrine Yahushua brought, and also the milk is the abundance. Okay, the milk also represents the great abundance that Yahushua is going to have when he comes back, because Yahushua he's going to inherit everything, man. So he's going to have great abundance when he comes back on the earth, because he's coming to put everything under his feet. He's coming to take back everything.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
This is Luke 3:16. John answered, saying, unto them all, I indeed baptize you with water, but one mightier than I cometh, the latcheth, on whose shoes I am not worthy to unloose. He shall baptize you with the Holy Spirit and with fire.
Yeah, and the fire represents affliction, man. This is why Yahushua told the disciples, you think you're going to be able to drink of the same cup that I drink of? You know, and Peter said, what? Yeah, Lord. He said, you shall surely drink of the same cup, you know, which represents affliction, man. This is why Yahushua also said, what? If the world hate me, it also hateth you. You know, the servant is not greater than his master. If they have persecuted me, they're going to persecute you also, man. Because Yahushua, he died a painful death. And his disciples, they died a painful death as well, man, for following him, you know?
Yep.
So, what up?
All right, it says, whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor.
Yeah, his floor represents his elect, man. The ones that he's going to gather in the last days together, you know? So his fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor. See how he purges us through what? Through affliction, man. You know, bringing us through different hell, man. You know, brothers catch hell, man. Ever since you came into the truth, man, you know, you've been catching hell, man. Going through it with, you know, your woman, you know, your children, you know, your job, your friends, you lose friends. This is why the scripture tells us in Sirach, the 2nd chapter, prepare yourself for temptation, man. You know? So he would thoroughly purge his floor. Because the reason why we catch hell is for the Most High, Yahushua, you know, to cleanse our souls. For all the sins that we committed, not only in this life, but also in our past lives, man. You know? Go ahead.
I add on also, when you sifting the wheat or the grains, you would have the fan on, or you use the natural wind.
Yeah.
And the solid stuff, the solid grains, is going to fall into your container, but then the fan is going to blow away the undesirable or the shafts.
Yeah, that's right. And that process, when you look it up, and they gather all the grains together, they actually beat at the stuff with a stick, so the grains can fall out, and the grains will have the shells on them, and then they will blow the fan on them. Yeah. So Yahushua, you know, Yahushua beat us as a people, man. Not only as a people, but you know, as an elect. Right. You know, Lord's will with those men. You know, you're gonna catch a lot of hell, man. For the Lord to purge you of your impurities, man. You know.
It says, and will gather the wheat into his garner, but the shaft he will burn with fire unquenchable.
That's right. So the wheat represents the elect. You know, that's the valuable part of the crop. You know, but the shaft represents the 2/3. He's gonna burn them with fire unquenchable, man. You know, which the fire unquenchable is, first of all, is gonna start with Jacob's struggle, but ultimately going into the nuclear missiles, man. You know, this is why Yahushua told the 2/3, you shall be weeping with gnashing of teeth. You're gonna be weeping, man, when you see Yahushua return, man. It's gonna be a very hellish time, you know, upon Jake, man. This is the worst time Jake ever been through. Jacob's trouble is the worst time Jake ever been through, but the nuclear destruction is even worse than that. Everything you can have a picture that's worse in the history of mankind put together. It doesn't amount to the nuclear judgment that Yahushua's bringing upon the earth, man. Upon 2/3 of Israel, especially, man.
If I say also, when you dealing with a farmland and you got when you done, you have the shaft left.
I got
you can get rid of it either by burying it or by straight up just burning it, man. Yeah. So the Lord is using an ill metaphor to let you know that he's gonna. The shaft is what, the 2/3. Yeah. All right, because those beatings, the sifting process is a violent process, man. Those beatings are gonna get more violent. Yeah, right. Not one grain is gonna fall, man. Yeah. So you know how thorough the Lord's gonna beat this thing thoroughly, man. It's gonna be at the last minute you're gonna have guys falling out. Yeah. That's part of the shaft. Yeah. And that fire is gonna be, like Brother brought out beautifully, it's gonna be by way of thermonuclear missiles.
Okay, okay, I'll bring out, this is Luke.
All right, then I'll bring that already.
Yeah. Okay, this is Acts. I get Acts 14 and 22. Acts 14 and 20. Oh shit. It's like 22.
Or 26.
No. Oh, I'm in 12. So Acts 14 and 22. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must do much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High.
Yeah, through much tribulation, we're going to enter the kingdom of the Most High, man. And we're living in the time, worse than the time that the disciples lived in, man. You know, where we're not going to be able to function in society without having this mark. Somebody get Revelation 3 and 10, man. It goes into the hour of temptation. We're living in that time right now, man. Much tribulation, man. They're talking about you're not going to be able to buy water or food without having this thing up under your skin. You know, so it's going to be a very hard and dire time, you know, for us to be living in, man. You know, not being able to work, not being able to do anything. Because they're talking about this digital ID. So you're not even going to be able to roam around without having this thing up in you, man. They're going to have different checkpoints. You want to drive, you like to drive, you used to going in, you know, different spots and all of that. Well, guess what? They're going to have checkpoints to see if you have that thing up in you, man. You know? So it's going to be a very hard time, and it's going to take a lot of faith for us to get through these times, man. You know? We got to get about the show.
Okay, come. So this is Acts 14 and 22. It says, confirming the souls of the disciples and exalting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of God.
Yeah, so through much tribulation, we must enter the kingdom of the Most High. And earlier we was going into that straight and narrow path. That straight and narrow path really represents Jacob's struggle and our temptation, man. So it's gonna be hard, man, because we speak about it, but you kind of gotta envision it, man. You know, where you won't be able to do shit without having this thing, man. You won't be able to, oh yo, let me borrow $10 and none of that. Ain't gonna be no cash. Everything is gonna be digital, man. You know, it's gonna be a very hard time. Through much tribulation, we're going into the kingdom of the Most High, and also we're gonna be demonized, man. How Shah said, well, we're going to be brought before kings and rulers for his name's sake. You know? So they're going to have deep fakes, you know, AI, showing brothers doing different crimes that we ain't do. You know? You know, you might be, whatever, you know, you in your crib, you sleeping and shit. They say, you know, SWAT coming, you know, raid your house, take you into prison and shit. And I said, oh, you know, you're going to be charged with this and murder and this and that, terrorist. Like, what the fuck would I do? They show you a video of you doing something, boy, and it's not even you. Right. It's really deep faking AI, man. You know? We got to get ready to be demonized, man. You know? Because this devil, Esau, he don't play fair, man. And he's coming in with everything he got, man. And one of the powers the Lord gave him is the power of deception.
That's right. If I can add real quick, just a note, because, you know, when you sign up for these apps and things like that, you basically, like in the fine print, they basically, you can sign over your likeness. And, you know, that's what's going on in Hollywood right now, because they basically trying to take their likeness to make AI do whatever they want with them.
Yeah.
So, you know, and with that, you know what I mean? That's the same thing. So now you sign over your likeness, like you said, you're going to have brothers and people doing shit that they ain't really even doing.
Yeah, that's right. So that we're going to close out. You know, we're going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. Peace and double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that give us this truth and all the spirituality. And salutations to all y'all pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom.
Shalom.